Let's talk about something nobody at your job is going to tell you. Not your manager, not HR, not the person who hired you. Nobody sitting across from you in that building is going to pull you aside and say what I'm about to say to you right now. Your salary will never make you rich. Not the one you have now. Not the next raise. Not the promotion after that. Not even the version of your salary you've been dreaming about. The one that feels like it would finally fix everything. None of it. And before you click away thinking this is about to be some speech telling you to quit your job and start a business, it's not. Keep your job. Your salary matters. We're going to talk about exactly what it's good for. But there is something fundamentally broken about the way most people think about their income. A belief that gets installed in us early, gets reinforced every single month on payday, and quietly keeps the average hardworking person financially stuck for decades. And the worst part is, it feels completely logical. It feels like the right way to think. That's why almost nobody questions it. Until today. From the time we were old enough to understand anything about money, we were given a simple picture of how life works. Go to school, study hard, get a good job, earn a good salary, and everything will be fine. That was the plan, that was the promise. And for a certain generation, in a certain era, that actually worked reasonably well. You could get a stable job, earn a consistent salary, stay loyal to one company for 30 years, and retire with something to show for it. But something changed, and nobody updated the manual. The world shifted. The cost of living started climbing in ways that salaries simply couldn't keep up with. Job security became less of a guarantee, and yet the advice stayed exactly the same. Get a good job, earn a good salary. Everything will be fine. So people followed the plan. They studied, they got the jobs, they earned the salaries. And then they looked up 10, 15, 20 years later, still living paycheck to paycheck, still stressed about money, still one unexpected bill away from real trouble. Not because they failed, not because they weren't working hard enough, but because the plan itself had a hole in it that nobody ever pointed out. The plan told you how to earn money. It never told you how money actually grows. Here is what your salary is, stated plainly. Your salary is a trade. You give your time, your energy, your expertise, your presence, and in return, your employer gives you money. Every single month, that trade happens. And every single month, you get paid for the time you already gave. That's it. That's the whole arrangement. And there's nothing wrong with that trade. It keeps the lights on. It puts food on the table. It pays the rent and handles the bills and keeps life moving. Your salary is not the enemy. But here's the ceiling that nobody talks about. Your salary can only ever grow as fast as your employer is willing to let it grow. You want more money? You need a raise. You want a raise? You need your employer to agree. You want a bigger raise? You need to either impress them enough or leave and find someone else willing to pay more. Your income is entirely in someone else's hands. And even in the best case, even if you get every raise you ask for, even if your salary doubles over the next 10 years, you are still only ever being paid for time you already spent. The moment you stop working, the money stops coming. That is a very fragile position to build a financial life on, because time is the one thing you cannot make more of. And if your only source of money requires your constant time and presence, then you are always one health issue, one redundancy, one bad month away from everything stopping. So if a salary alone won't do it, what actually does? This is where most finance content either loses people in complicated jargon or gives them some fantasy version of reality. I'm gonna do neither. The honest answer is this: wealth is not built by earning more. Wealth is built by putting money to work so that it earns on your behalf, without requiring your time. Let that sit for a second. Money that earns without requiring your time. That is the entire difference between someone who is financially comfortable and someone who is genuinely free. When you save money and invest it, whether that's in index funds or a business or a property or anything that generates a return, that money starts doing something remarkable. It starts earning. Not because you showed up, not because you put in hours, but simply because it exists and it's positioned correctly. And then it earns on its earnings. And then on those earnings. And it keeps going. This is what people mean when they talk about money working for you. It sounds like a cliche. It gets thrown around so much that it loses all meaning. But the underlying reality is very real and very powerful. The person who puts aside even a small amount every month consistently into something that grows is not just saving money. They are building a second source of income that requires none of their time, an income that grows while they sleep, while they eat, while they're at the job that pays their bills. That second source of income, not the salary, is what builds wealth. So, if this is the answer, why aren't more people doing it? Because the salary makes it incredibly easy not to. Here's what happens in real life: you get paid, the money lands in your account, and immediately, before you've even had a chance to think, life is already spending it. Rent, food, transport, the phone bill, the subscription you forgot about, the thing that came up this week that wasn't in any plan. And if there's anything left at the end of the month, it rarely feels like enough to do something meaningful with, so it sits. Or it gets spent, and the cycle repeats. This is not laziness. This is not stupidity. This is the natural gravity of a salary-dependent life. When your only income requires your constant presence, you are always tired, always stretched, always just trying to get through the week. The mental space required to think about building something beyond the salary, to actually be intentional about it, that space gets eaten up by the weight of just surviving. And on top of that, there's the lifestyle problem. As salaries grow, spending grows with them. This is so consistent, it even has a name: lifestyle creep. The person earning a small salary dreams of earning more. They finally earn more. And almost immediately, their spending adjusts to match. Better apartment, better car, better everything. And somehow, despite earning significantly more than they did 2 years ago, they still feel just as tight. The salary went up, the wealth didn't move, because wealth doesn't come from earning more. Wealth comes from keeping more and putting it to work. There is a moment, and if you've ever experienced it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, where something clicks about money. It's not a dramatic moment. Nobody throws confetti. It doesn't come with a feeling of sudden excitement. It's quieter than that, more like something slowly settling into place. The moment is this: you stop seeing your salary as the destination and you start seeing it as the tool. Not the goal, not the measure of your success, not the thing you're working toward. The tool. Your salary is the raw material. What you build with it is the actual point. And once that shift happens, everything about how you handle money changes. You stop spending everything that comes in because you understand that every amount you don't spend is an amount that can be working for you instead. You stop waiting for a bigger salary before you start because you understand that starting small now beats starting big later. You stop measuring your financial health by how much you earn and start measuring it by how much of what you earn is building something. This is the shift that separates people who retire comfortably from people who are still depending on a job in their 60s. Not intelligence, not income level, not luck. Just this one reframe: the salary is the tool, not the destination. Let's make this concrete because abstract ideas don't pay bills. Imagine two people, same age, same income, same city, same cost of living. The first person does what most people do. Every payday, they cover what needs to be covered and spend the rest. Life is fine. They're not reckless. They're not buying things they can't technically afford. But nothing is being put to work. Nothing is building. Their financial position at the end of every year looks almost identical to the start. The second person makes one decision. Every single month, before anything else gets touched, they move a set amount, even a small amount, somewhere that it can grow. Not into a regular savings account where it just sits. Into something that compounds over time. They don't touch it. They don't treat it as an emergency fund. It's untouchable. It's working. In the short term, these two people look almost identical. Same lifestyle roughly, same job, same salary. But 10 years later, something remarkable has happened to the second person. That money they've been consistently moving has been compounding. It has been growing on itself. and it has quietly become something real, something that generates its own return, something that, at a certain point, starts contributing meaningfully to their financial life without them having to do anything extra. The first person, after 10 years, is still entirely dependent on their salary. If the job disappears tomorrow, everything stops. The second person, after 10 years, has built a buffer, a foundation, the beginning of an income that doesn't require their time. Same salary, completely different financial reality because of one habit applied consistently over 10 years. That is what this looks like in real life. Not dramatic, not overnight. Just the quiet, relentless power of money put to work early and left alone. So here's where we land. Your salary is not the problem. Your salary is not the enemy. Your salary is the starting point, and starting points matter. But if you are waiting for your salary to grow large enough to finally make you financially secure, you will be waiting for a very long time. Because no salary on its own ever outpaces the cost of a life fully lived on it. The people who build real financial stability, not the ones who look rich, not the ones performing wealth online, but the ones who are actually free, they all figured out the same thing at some point. The salary is for living. What you pull from it consistently and put somewhere that grows, that is for freedom. You don't need to earn a fortune to start. You need to start with whatever you have as soon as you have it, and let time do what only time can do. Stop waiting for the raise. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you're earning enough that it feels worth it. The amount you start with matters far less than the fact that you start. Your salary will never make you rich, but what you choose to do with even a small portion of it, consistently, quietly, without stopping, absolutely can. That is the whole game, and now you know it. If this hit home, share it with someone still waiting on that raise to save them. And if you want to keep having these conversations, the real ones, the ones that actually move the needle, subscribe to the channel. We're building something here. See you in the next one.